Welcome to the Daily Decant, your 5-minute briefing on the world of wine. Each episode delivers practical insights to help you choose, order, and talk about wine with more confidence in everyday social settings. Let's get into today's decant. Today we're in California, which is bigger, more complicated, and more diverse Pinot Noir story than most people realize. California doesn't make one kind of Pinot Noir. It makes many across a long coastal strip where fog, ocean, and elevation interact in completely different ways from region to region. So what I want to do today is give you 4 distinct portraits, 4 regions, 4 personalities, so that when you see a California Pinot on a list, you have a sense of what's likely in the glass. Let's start with the Russian River Valley. This is the most famous California Pinot Noir zone, and for good reason. It produces consistently excellent, approachable, silky wine at a relatively reliable quality level from a wide range of producers. Russian River Valley sits in Sonoma County, inland from the coast, but connected to the Pacific by a specific gap through the coastal hills. Cool morning fog rolls in off the ocean, drops temperatures dramatically, and burns off in the afternoon. The result is a long, moderate growing season with good diurnal. This means day to night temperature variation. The Pinot Noir from the zone has a signature style: strawberry and raspberry fruit up front, a silky, almost voluptuous texture, relatively modest tannins, and enough acidity to keep everything fresh. It's the most immediately approachable style of serious California Pinot, and the one most likely to win over someone who's new to the variety. Producers to know are Dellinger, which we covered in the Grand Tour as one of the most exciting producers in the area, William Sellium, the cult estate that essentially defined the Russian River style, Rocchioli, single vineyard, small production, spectacular, and Gary Farrell, reliably excellent, slightly more accessible in allocation. Next is the Sonoma Coast, and this is where things get more serious and more demanding. The Sonoma Coast ABA is a vast and somewhat catch-all designation, but the wines that justify the most attention come from the far western edge. What producers call the true Sonoma Coast, where vineyards are planted directly on the coastal hills at elevations where the fog quite never burns off and temperatures rarely get warm. This is extreme viticulture. Yields are tiny, the vines struggle, and the wines reflect that struggle in the most beautiful way. More structure than Russian River, more mineral character, more tension, less immediately generous. These wines need time but reward patience enormously. Hirsch Vineyards is the most celebrated estate. Their wines are some of the most distinctive and profound Pinot Noirs made anywhere in California. Also, Hay Vineyards, flowers. Santa Barbara County is next, and here we make a significant shift, both geographically and stylistically. Santa Barbara is about 4 hours south of Sonoma in the central California coast, and its wine regions have a completely unique geography. Instead of north-south running valleys that faced the ocean at one end, Santa Barbara has transverse valleys. They run east to west, opening directly to the Pacific. That orientation creates a powerful marine influence and some of the coolest growing conditions in California outside of the northern coast. Within Santa Barbara, 2 valleys produce most of the interesting Pinot. Santa Rita Hills, a smaller, cooler, windier subzone that produces the most structured and mineral Santa Barbara Pinot, and the broader Santa Ynez Valley. Slightly warmer, producing more generous and immediately expressive wines. Santa Rita Hills is where the most serious Pinot comes from. Producers to know are Brewer Clifton, Sea Smoke, Melville. Santa Cruz Mountains is next on the list, so the smallest and most underrated of the 4 zones, a range of forested hills south of San Francisco Bay, where vineyards are planted at high elevation in poor soils with significant fog influence. The wines here are lean, precise, and age-worthy in a way that sets them apart from the more generous California styles. This is the California Pinot for people who love Burgundy and want something with that same tension and terroir-driven quality. Producers above all include Ridge Vineyards, one of California's greatest estates, whose estate Pinot Noir from the Montbello and Lytton Spring areas show what this region can do. The one thing I want you to take away from today is that California Pinot Noir is not one style, and before you dismiss it as too ripe or too oaky, because that reputation exists, and isn't entirely unfair for some producers, find out where the grapes came from. Russian River will be generous and silky, Sonoma Coast will be structured and mineral, Santa Rita Hills will be focused and cool, and Santa Cruz Mountains will be lean and precise. The region tells you as much as the grape does. Tomorrow we're going to New Zealand. You won't want to miss it. That's today's Daily Decant. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends so you can continue building your wine knowledge in just a few minutes today. See you tomorrow for the next Decant.